Hi everyone, Oh My Giona here, and today I'm gonna be talking about One Piece Film Red. I finally got to watch it yesterday, and I've been trying to digest everything that I've seen. This is definitely a movie that needs to be watched more than once. At this moment, I've only seen it one time. Hopefully it would run for a longer period so I can go again next week, because I feel like I'm missing so much information. Because when you watch it for the first time, it's like, yeah, it's so cool and this and that, but you don't really catch everything, I feel like. And so, yeah, I'm hoping to go again. Maybe I would see more stuff. But I'm going to talk about what I'm feeling right now and what I thought of it, like my initial reaction to it. Yesterday I have one of my brothers in Christ. I told them that, hey, I've watched a film, and he asked me what I thought of it and how I would rate it out of 10. And I actually had to think about it, and I told him it's an 8 out of 10, but I slept on it, and it's kind of hard. Now I think it would be about a 9. So, in the beginning of this video, I would talk about it without spoilers. Overall, the movie was really good. It's not like the other ones that we've seen, at least the big ones, like, say, Stampede, Strong World, Zed, like those movies. I feel like those ones that we've seen before are more action-packed, and just the tension is very high, but information and emotion-wise, they're not as strong. They're very good, like, animation-wise and just the fighting and all that. But this one was more subtle, I would say. Maybe because of having Uta in the movie, as opposed to, like, the really aggressive, like, old dudes like Shiki and Zed, and Bullet. They were more just very violent and all that. But with Uta, I felt like it was more emotional and thought-provoking. And yeah, it's very different, I think. So when I was first watching it, I was kind of waiting for that usual, like, big fight, something cool and flashy. It was flashy in a way, but I was kind of disappointed at first until I realized, oh, this is not the kind of movie that I was expecting it to be. Animation, I think, is a little bit inconsistent in some parts. There was a shot of Brule and an oven, and they didn't look like themselves. It was, I don't know, it was a very different animation. Maybe because I wasn't used to it, but it's not very consistent. They also use different kinds of animation in this one. I'm not very technical, so I don't know what they're called. But whenever Uta performs, it was, what do you call it? How, do you call them Vocaloids? They would do concerts, but it's not the real person, but they move like a real person. I don't know what it's called. But that's the kind of animation they use for Uta. And just her concert overall, it's very colorful and just flashy, and it's probably CG. I'm not sure. I don't know the technical stuff. But yeah, that to me made it a little bit more inconsistent as opposed to other movies. But it wasn't bad. Like, the animation wasn't bad, especially in the climax. It was really good. But yeah, that's just one thing it's not even a criticism, because it's probably just their way of doing. It's an art decision for them, which it did work for having Uta there and her power and what the story is trying to tell. It's just a little bit unnerving, I guess, as a first time watcher for me. But yeah, animation was okay. Music, okay. More than 10. That was really good. When the songs first came out, when they were doing the promotions before the movie came out, I listened to the songs and I really like them. But I told my sister, Ado is really good, but her style is not the style that I like. But my gosh, she's she's such a performer. Gosh, the movie wouldn't have worked if it wasn't her voice. Like, that's how good she was. They did a really good job doing the performance scenes of Uta whenever she sings, because the movie itself is kind of like half concert musical. See, that's why it was like very different from what we're used to for One Piece movies. But gosh, like, the performance was really good. Ado was amazing. I'm so sorry I said I didn't like your voice before, but now I like it so much. I can't imagine it with anybody else but her. She was so darn good as Uta's singing voice. The songs also fit what's going on in the movie. The scenes that when they had the songs playing, it really matched. Even the lyrics, it's exactly what's happening in the scene, that was really good. We saw a lot of familiar faces. It's hard to tell. I mean, I know some parts of it is canon, but just the timeline is different. So that one, definitely not canon. It wouldn't have worked with the timeline, but we saw a lot of people. I love the dynamics that they showed, especially for Law. And they were so cute. Like, Beppo was so cute in this one. Bruno, my gosh, I hated. Not that I hate it, but there were some scenes with Bruno. I'm just like, oh my god, stop. But it was pretty fun to see all of them. Kind of sad that some people were not here. Like, I miss Buggy. He was in Stampede, and that was pretty cool. The character designs were also very good. Oh my gosh, whoever said that, let's have a curly Sanji in this movie, thank you very much. You deserve all the good food in your life. Sanji was so beautiful. Like, oh gosh, that curly hair. It was so good. The outfit change that they had, I like it. Well, the first outfit that they were wearing, I think my favorite one was Frankie. He was kind of like a radio. It was so cute. Oh my gosh, Robin. She was so hot. Like, it did not make sense how hot Robin was, but I was basically drooling in the theaters. She was so cool. Gosh, my chair. Yeah, I love Robin and Frankie in those outfits. The second one was pretty cool too. Was it the second one that Robin was wearing? Robin looked good in anything that she was wearing. But the second outfit that they had, it was okay. Like, Luffy's outfit was okay. Not his best. But the others had pretty cool stuff too. And it was really nice to see Jinbei, because this one had Jinbei in it. It was, I think the timeline was supposed to be after Wano, but some of it did not make sense. But yeah, we have Jinbei in here, and it was really nice to have him with the crew. Yeah. But overall, this was pretty cool. Shanks, of course, was in here. His crew. There were so many people in this one. But yeah, I had to laugh. Like the people sitting beside me. Like one girl said, like, yeah, that's the most I've seen Shanks in 25 years. And I was just like nodding. I didn't talk to them. I was shy. But yeah, Shanks is in here. Go watch it if you want to watch Shanks in a movie. But yeah, story was really good. I can't really talk much about it without the spoilers. But yeah, overall, right now, I would say it's 9 out of 10. So starting from now, I would be talking about spoilers and stuff that happened in the movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to be spoiled. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. But if you've seen it and you want to get spoiled, stay. And I'm going to talk about the reveals and stuff like that. But yeah, so I don't know if I just didn't pay attention, but I did not expect Uta to be the antagonist in this movie. I thought it would be more about about her relationship with Shanks. I guess I was not following the promotions, but I was so shocked when she just went evil. I was like, wait, she's the villain in this movie? But I was thankful that I did not know that, because I really enjoyed the transformation. So basically, they were in this concert and they were watching Uta perform. But it took a turn when we realized what Uta was actually doing. So she was saying before that she wanted freedom for these people because the pirates, they've been ruining people's lives, and the government they're not as different, you know. They're almost kind of like pirates. They are pretty bad too, is what they're saying. But people, they find hope and they find freedom in listening to her voice. So she created this whole thing like, I'm gonna have a concert, we're gonna be free. And then she started talking about forever, like staying here forever. I give you all the food, I give you everything that you want, sake, booze, everything, but you have to stay here and we're all gonna be happy. And I'm like, that's not right. I don't think they would want that. And so we see what kind of power she actually has. It was the Sing Sing fruit, and people, they fall asleep whenever she sings. And they enter this world that she created that's not real, but they all fall asleep. There was that one scene when we finally realized what was happening. Because in their minds, in the world that Uta created, it was all nice and beautiful and just singing and fluffy things and colorful things everywhere. And then it cut to this scene with just rain, dark clouds, and everyone just lying there. And she's in the middle of it, controlling their minds, right? It was so creepy. Except there was like Sanji and Zoro sleeping kind of together. They were beside each other, and that was amazing. Thank you for putting that in there. There was actually a lot of Zosan in this. All the bickering, the cute things, you know. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. But yeah, that was really chilling when everyone realized that, oh my gosh, this is what she's doing. And we all know it's wrong. But then we see what happened to her. And when I saw the trailers before, I was really mad at Shanks. And I was very suspicious of him. Because the trailer made it seem like he abandoned her there. But then we see what actually happened. That Elegia, that country, that island, it was ruined not because of Shanks, but because of Uta's fruit and her power that woke up Tot Musica, which was the Demon King thing. It's kind of like the biggest villain that they had to fight. But yeah, and all that time she was thinking that Shanks was the bad guy. And I was thinking the same, that Shanks was a bad guy. But yeah, I guess he wasn't. My suspicions against Shanks kind of disappeared after watching this show, watching this movie. And also I got hit hard when Luffy told Uta, Shanks would never do that. I know, you should know that Shanks would never do such a thing. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, Luffy. So sorry, Shanks, I doubted you. He's still suspicious about other things, but I guess I can confirm that Shanks is not a bad person. I can't believe it. It was crazy. But I mean, he came and saved Uta from herself. Oh my gosh, there's just so much that happened in the movie that I don't think I can talk about all of them one by one. But yeah, it was really shocking for me in a good way. Pleasantly surprised that Uta turned out to be the villain in the movie. And that's hard for our people because they had to defeat someone they care about. Because when the Tot Musica got enabled when it came out, the only way to defeat it would be for someone in the real world and the world that Uta created to defeat the Demon King together at the same time. And it was Shanks and Luffy, and they had to defeat it to save Uta, but it's kind of like defeating Uta as well. And so that was very emotional, the confrontation and all that. It's a very different dynamic from what we used to have with just these people who, they're not necessarily bad, but there's we have a really good reason to fight them, right? But here there was a lot of background and emotion involved. I feel like I missed not so much, but some parts of the show because I was crying and my eyes were blurred. My sister was talking to me about a certain scene and I'm like, oh my gosh, where did she say that? And she's like, you just watched it. And I'm like, my eyes were blurry from all the crying. But yeah, well, that's one thing. I talked about it earlier, but the songs and the performance, just so good. But if I had to choose one, it would be when they defeated the Demon King and Luffy was lying there. Uta made sure that he's fine. And then she fell. Because she was so tired, right? Because she was eating that mushroom that caused her to be awake the whole time. Because her plan was to die with everyone and they would all be free. But yeah, she was eating that mushroom. And she was so tired from everything. So she fell. And then she was leaning on Shanks. And oh my gosh, she started, was it that one? Yeah. She started singing that song that she was singing in the filler episodes that we got. When Luffy was like just staring at her, like so mesmerized. And it did not occur to me that it was a song that she wrote because she missed Luffy. She missed Shanks and all that. It was a very sad song. But the way they did it was there was no background music and it was just her voice. And she was so good. Oh my gosh. Ada was so darn good. Oh, it's beautiful. Purely just her voice. And you can feel all the emotions from it. Just crying at that part. Oh my gosh. But okay, I have some stuff here that I wrote down because I knew I was just gonna talk and talk and talk without structure. So I wrote down some things that I have to talk about. So let me see here. Yep, I talked about talked about that. So I mentioned earlier that there were so many people in this one. And so there were also Marines. Well, poor Akainu, he only got to bark out orders to people. He would just be sitting there. It was really sad that his character got knocked down to just telling people what to do, as opposed to how he was before, how he was fighting and all that. But now all he had to do was wait and tell them what to do. Kind of sad. But we have Bruno and Khalifa in this one too. Kobe and Helmeppo as well. And there was a part there when they were talking about... So Bruno is a part of CP0 now. Not surprising considering how Lucci is there too. But Kobe and Helmeppo were just talking about Sword out in the open, and Bruno heard it, and he's like, just like, yeah, Sword. And all this time I thought Sword was a secret organization and that not a lot of people knew about it. But they were talking as if it's something that everyone knows about. And that just really confused me. Interesting that Law was there too. Because we all think that he's part of Sword? Like Drake, right? But yeah, it was just interesting and confusing at the same time how they were just openly talking about it with Bruno, like, of all people. We don't talk about things with Bruno around. But yeah, so the climax was just so darn good. Like, literally, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, it was just so good. I was like watching like this. When like the Shanks pirates, red hair pirates came and they were fighting the Demon King, and people in the made up world were also fighting. You know, like, there were so many things, so many good things that happened in this movie. But personally, the highest part for me was Yasop and Usopp together. I'm like, okay, so Yasop has better... Is this even canon? I don't care. But Yasop has better observation hockey than my boy Katakuri. Like, dude, he was so cool. And there was that part with him and Usopp. Freaking Usopp. We know he has observation hockey. But how strong it was in this one was just... I love that part so much. They were helping each other, using their observation hockey, because they have to attack this Demon King at the same time, but there's no way for them to communicate that. And so Yasop and Usopp, they were communicating through hockey, and they were saying like, yeah, the right leg, the left leg, and all that. It was so darn cool. I did not expect that I would be so hyped over interaction for Usopp and Yasop. I know I've been waiting so long for it, and I did not think I would get it from a movie, but it was so darn good. And Yasop was so proud of his boy, you know, and it was just so sweet. I love it so much. Yeah, that was the highest point of the movie for me. Oh, people can say otherwise, but that was my peak. Yasop and Usopp using observation hockey to tell people where to attack and when to attack. Like, gosh, that was so cool. I love it so much. And Shanks and Luffy doing that final attack together. That was pretty cool too. Shanks though. There were so many things. So about Shanks, we actually found out some things about him. So, well, Uta, we found out, was not Shanks's biological daughter. She was found in a treasure chest that they stole from pirates. And when they opened it and they were looking at Uta, Shanks remembered a memory that he had from when Roger found him. So it was said that Roger found Shanks when he was like a year old, but it was the same thing. It was in a treasure chest that they took after the God Valley incident. So this could basically mean anything. He could be a celestial dragon. He could be someone important's son. He could be Rox's son. Who knows? But no, maybe not, because not five emperors. The Gorosei, they talked about Shanks. Actually, I can't remember if they specifically said Shanks or Uta, but that I think it was Shanks. He was part of this family, so there was a name drop. Figureland family, and it seems like they're an important family. We don't know why. Sounds like a royalty name, you know. And Shanks is a part of that family, which makes him dangerous. But we don't know, like, does this family still exist in this day? Is Shanks like the last survivor? I'm leaning more towards him being a celestial dragon because he was able to talk to the Gorosei back then and they actually listened. So there's something in there, right? It's his status, his position as part of that family that gives him these opportunities and the power to actually talk to the Gorosei and for them to listen to what he has to say. It's almost kind of like Dofi having leverage about him being a celestial dragon. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what that has to do with the future of the manga, but they had a name drop and I bet it's gonna come up later on. They only mention it once too. It's like almost in passing. That's an important one. Also, I was curious about Elegia because it was mentioned in the manga, so this place is canon. With it being ruined, I don't know if Tot Musica was also canon, but Elegia was destroyed. Uta destroyed it, but they had this ancient thing like underneath, and Robin was able to read it. It did not look like poneglyphs though. They were they looked like ancient writings on a ceiling, and it was a very old place. And I could only assume that it was part of, or was in alliance with the ancient kingdom from the Void Century. So, I don't know. They did mention that, so I'm pretty sure it's a real place in the One Piece world. But Tot Musica in itself felt like an ancient weapon almost. It was very strong. I mean, it took like Shanks to defeat it. Like, seriously, it was super strong. And, like, the fruit. There's so much. And I feel like I'm still missing a lot of it. Right? I really need to see it again. But, yeah, the last part, so, like, the ending of this was kind of vague. I actually had to talk to my sister about it, what she thought, just to see if I was thinking the same thing. Did she have something else in mind? But because Uta, in the last part, she wanted to sing instead of like resting so that she can save the people there, right? But it seemed like she used up all her energy, and we did not see exactly what happened, but Shanks took her. And in the end there, when Luffy woke up and he saw Shanks' ship going, it seemed like, I don't know if it was a coffin or just a box, but Uta was lying there, and you can see like her hoodie, so you know it's Uta. But Shanks took her, and then that was the last time we saw her. I believe that she died. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. But they just didn't show it, because I mean, if it was Oda, maybe he would have saved her, like not killed her. But to me, it made sense that she did not survive. She did bad things, okay? She almost took out all these people, innocent people who were just there to watch her perform and lift up some of their burdens from their lives. And she was trying to kill all of them and kill herself. And that was not good. That was really bad. And I felt like she needed to be responsible for that. She needed to take the consequences of what she did. And she also took so much of the mushroom that keeps you awake. And that took a toll on her body. They were talking about like, yeah, it's only a matter of like 2 hours and she'd probably just fall down and die. So I do believe that she died. They showed like a montage of people listening to her music after the event. They were listening to her music from a tone dial. It was nice. We got to see people we know, like people from Luffy's village, Nami's and Usopp's and Sanji, Zoro, all that from the East Blue, and like the islands that we visited. We see all of them seemingly happy, living their lives and listening to her music. And then we saw Uta's face in the end, and she was happy too. But we did not see her actually walking alive in the present. So I do think she died. I was grateful that they did not show it, and it was kind of just implied, or almost like it's up to you what you thought. But because she kind of achieved what she wanted to do. It was to free the people from their sufferings, even for just a bit. And that's what her music was doing for them. And it was really nice. There was also the ending credits with Luffy. He just like went like this, with his hat, and he looked sad for a bit, and he thought of his conversation with Uta before it all ended, and he smiled, and then he said, "I'm gonna be the king of the pirates." And it did remind me of after the time skip, when he renewed that promise, and he said, like, I will become the king of the pirates. Sabo, Ace, watch over me. It's almost like that. So to me, he was saying that to Uta because she passed away. And he's saying, this is my promise to you as well, because you've passed on. Please watch over me. But I will be the king of the pirates. So I do believe that she died. But it was just pretty cool for me how Luffy dealt with this, because we all know that Uta is she's probably Luffy's first friend ever, and then she disappeared, and Luffy was just so devastated by that. And you'd think that Luffy, after seeing her, and then her dying, you'd think that it would devastate Luffy. I'm not saying that he was okay with it, he grieved too. We saw that there was a part when he actually cried. But it was nice to see that now he's able to deal with that grief in a different way, as opposed to how he reacted when Ace died. Because he knows he's not alone anymore. And even though people move on, he has his crew. He has people with him. And so he was able to accept it. I don't want to say much easier, but with more grace. And thinking that he's not going to forget them. They're still going to be in his heart. And he was able to grieve in that way and move on, which was super important. Gosh, Film Red was such an emotional movie for me, and it was done so well. Actually, the more I talk about it, the more I like it. It was very different from the past movies, but it was really good. I also mentioned before it was very thought-provoking with how... Because, the whole background with Uta and what caused her to do what she did. It's such an extreme to take all these people with you thinking you're saving them. But in that process, you kill them. It's so messed up. But when you think about what she went through and the betrayal, and she got so much love and it was taken from her. So it became a betrayal, became hatred that powered that top musica, that it was just a demon king and all that. I came out of the theater thinking about it. You would know that a piece of work, whether it be a book, manga, a movie, a TV show, you would know that it is good when it's over. But it's not over for you, because you think about it and you try to see through the eyes of the character why they did this, what could I learn from what they've experienced. And that's what One Piece Film Red did for me. I'm still thinking about it right now, not just because of what the implications to the future based on the information that we got, but just learning from what happened with Uta, with Shanks, with Luffy, and all that, and trying to apply that in my life and thinking about things that are happening, things that happen, and what could happen in the future. I think it's a really good movie. Definitely worth you purchasing a ticket and watching it, taking time to watch it. Give yourself a treat and see this masterpiece. I really want to see it another time. Hopefully, it would still be running in a theater close to me. But yeah, for now, that's everything that I wanted to talk about that I can remember. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have you guys seen Film Red yet? Let me know what you thought of the movie. What part really hit you the most? What are you thinking right now? What did it make you realize? What did it make you feel? Let me know. We're all One Piece fans in here. Let's talk about it. But yeah, if you have not seen it yet, make sure to go And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome day. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.